recommending me that book. Justin Borland with the Is This Anything Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah, I got that. I got that book.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How long you been doing comedy, bro?
Well, I started really like 3.5 years.
Okay.
Basically, I started 5 years ago, but sorry, I have COVID right now.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding.
It's okay. I'm unvaxxed. I'm safe.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm proud of you.
Yeah, man.
That's amazing.
I had, we'll get into that later, but
Okay. Yeah, no, I started first time, 5 years ago, but I didn't do it during like the pandemic. So really only 3.5, like, because I wasn't doing it for like 1.5 years in there.
Mm-hmm.
But
so you started before the pandemic, and then
yeah, like 5 years ago was the first time I did it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what was the thing that got you into wanting to do it?
I was studying acting, which is kind of embarrassing, but someone was like, "Oh, you should try stand-up comedy. I hear it makes you a better actor," which is weird because a lot of people say that stand-ups are terrible actors, but yeah, someone
and
said
then
that.
actors are terrible stand-ups.
Yeah.
Not at all. Not at all.
I'm bad at both, so I don't know what I'm doing. No. So I went and tried it. And once I did it, I was like, this is way better than acting because you can write your own thing. You can go do it whenever you want. It's just your own. You have full control. You're not waiting around for people to give you opportunities or help you. And I was a musician for most of my life in a band that wrote songs and made records and toured. So I liked like writing my own stuff and performing it. I didn't want to wait for other people to tell me I can do it or whatever.
Right.
So that's what I liked about it.
So, and do you think that like touring and stuff like that helped you with the stand-up? Because a lot of the times I've had conversations with people where actors will go up there and it sounds like they're doing a monologue. But when they have no, I'm not saying that you do it.
No, I mean, it's easy to fall into that. Yeah, I think, you got to get better at. It should feel like a conversation, right? I think stand up, and I struggle with that sometimes. I'm always trying to get better at riffing or talking off the top of my head, because it should feel like you're just having a conversation. It shouldn't feel like a monologue. Mm-hmm. But I can fall into the monologue thing. I think a lot of people can, especially if you haven't been doing it for a long, long time.
Right.
Well, how do you feel about that? Do you?
Dude, I'm so new at this where it's just like everything. It's weird because I'll go in the improv and I'll have the confidence and I'm just riffing up there, and then when I go to the open mic, it's a completely different ballgame for me, man. I'm way too much in my own head. Yeah. I think about too much of hitting. It's almost like every word, every syllable. You know what I mean? I'm trying to duplicate really because a lot of my bits that I've been finding is through the improv.
Oh.
And then when I get those laughs, I'll transcribe that into writing, and I get worried a lot of the time in the open mic that I got to hit everything and everything's got to sound the same. And when I do that, I find out, dude, no one laughs. It's one of the most frustrating things for me right now.
It's funny you're like worrying so much about this thing that is the wrong thing to do. Anyways, like you're worrying about being pitch perfect or whatever, but that's not the way to do it.
Right. Yeah.
I do the same thing. So
did you do that in the beginning as well? Because coming from
I feel like I still do that.
But at least your jokes are funny.
I don't know. I mean, I try to make them funny. But I don't know. It's always a struggle, especially when you're working on new stuff. Am I talking too close to this?
No. Go ahead. Sorry about that. I should have warned you. I'll look every now and then just to see where our levels are, and then I'll but don't worry about me. I'm
just
listening.
turn me off. I don't want to hear me.
And let me see if I'm, because I do this a lot too, where I'm not recording. And
that's cool.
Okay, cool.
I don't know. When you're working on new stuff,
right?
It's I don't remember what we were saying now, but
just not making it sound like you're trying to.
When I try to do new stuff, I'm always like, I got to do it exactly how I wrote it or whatever, and then it comes out terrible, So it is. Yeah, I'm gonna try to like bullet point things and just try to riff on things more when I'm trying new things. I think.
Yeah. And you host the crowd work.
Yeah.
Mic as well.
Yeah.
And how does crowd work fare for you?
That's more of like an incel mic right now. It's just a bunch of sad, lonely men. Come hang out, everyone. No, no. For some reason, like hardly any women ever come to it. I don't know why. Probably because of me, I'm guessing. But no. It's the crowd work thing. I hate crowd work But that's why I started hosting it, to try to get better at crowd work. That's the only way to get good at anything, right? Is to make yourself be uncomfortable and suck at it over and over and over. And then eventually, hopefully, maybe, probably not, but you never know. You could get good at it.
Yeah, definitely. How long you been hosting that for?
A few months.
Okay.
I started doing it because I cold opened my friend's show and totally bombed. And I was like, God, I got to figure out how to talk to people. It's funny that comedians are. That's what we do, but a lot of comedians are bad at talking to people, in life. I mean,
that's interesting.
Well, I am. Maybe this is just me projecting. Yeah. But I feel like I'm awkward in person.
I could never tell it with you on stage, honestly.
Oh, well, that's nice of you. Thank you.
And maybe you play into it too, a little bit. I don't know. I don't know what your process is.
On stage or off stage?
On stage.
Oh, on stage. I probably feel more comfortable on stage than in life. That's always how I felt though. Even when I played music, that's actually probably one of the reasons I started playing music and doing things like that. I don't know why, but I always felt more comfortable on stage than off stage. That sounds like a lame or something.
No, not at all. Not at all.
I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe because you can express yourself in a different way if it's through a creative process, and also you don't have to be you really. It's well, you know what I mean. You can just. I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's a different form of expression than just everyday conversation. If you're writing and performing something, it's a totally different form of expression. Mm-hmm. And for some reason, I feel more comfortable doing that than talking to someone at the corner store or something like that.
That's crazy, dude. Because I was the complete opposite when I first started. I'm very comfortable talking with people, and on stage, I hate it when it's just me talking. Okay. You know what I mean? I like just the back and forth about people.
Okay.
And then,
you're great at this podcast.
Thank you, man.
So that makes sense, that you feel good about that.
Yeah. Trying to get better at the comedy, though. I don't know. It's just been a fucking weird ride.
Everyone's trying to get better.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing it? 4 months this week. 4 months on your show on Friday. Wow, dude. Yeah. That's so short of a time. That's great. You're doing great then.
Yeah, I'm trying. The one thing about this has been everyone's just been very helpful. Yesterday, I did the thing where Evan Warner, he's a comedian.
I know him.
Yeah, great comedian. But it's great because when he's there, he'll give me feedback and honest feedback. You know what I mean? That's what I appreciate and what I need right now, because sometimes it just feels like I'll go to mics and I'm just like, that was a waste of my fucking time because I did not learn anything. Except that I suck.
Yeah, I've learned that 1,000 times. But I think it's never a waste of time, because it's like going to the gym to work out. You're building a muscle this much at a time. Someone asked me if the crowd work mic was making me better at crowd work. This much at a time, I'll probably be good at crowd work in 10 years or something.
Right, dude.
That's what it is, though. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think. Do you paint, by the way?
I don't paint. No, that's all my girlfriend stuff, man. Okay. I'm not the artist.
You have a girlfriend. Why are you doing comedy? You don't need to be doing this. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, you get better a little bit at a time, even when it feels like a waste of time.
Right. I have such a hard time grasping my mind around that. If I had a history where I was taking the actual gym serious, you know what I mean? I was training to be a bodybuilder my early 20s.
Oh, cool.
And not a bodybuilder, but more aesthetic kind of bodybuilding. But it's weird how I can't wrap my brain around that, how I can translate that kind of hustle with the gym, the actual gym, into open mic gyms,
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's just a different muscle that you're working, It's all a muscle. That's why if I don't go to open mics, or I don't get on stage for a few days, I come back, I feel very uncomfortable. I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
Just if I run every day.
Mm-hmm.
If I didn't run for a week, it would be harder to run the 4 or 5 miles or whatever.
4 or 5 miles you run?
Yeah.
Damn, bro.
Every day. Yeah.
Good for you.
Oh, thanks.
ridiculous. That's crazy.
I used to be a big fat ass, so
yeah,
I'm trying to not.
The trans fat joke that you told. I went to your show. Was it last Saturday or something?
Oh
like
yeah,
that?
yeah.
You did. Yeah, that was a good joke. Dude. The trans
thanks,
fat
dude.
joke is hilarious.
Thanks, man.
When did you decide? Like, how big were you? If you don't mind me asking.
I was like 230 pounds or something.
It's not too bad.
But I was only 13 years old. You know, I was like, so I was short. And
No
young,
kidding.
yeah.
What was the thing that made you want to change your lifestyle?
Just getting bullied, beat up, made fun of, made fun of by girls. Just over and over and over until at one point I was just like, all right, I can't do this anymore. I can't take it anymore. And
how old were you when you?
Then I lost all this weight and I still get bullied, beat up, turned down by girls. So, but I'm skinny now. I don't know. How old was I? I was like 16 or something.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Okay.
I think I was 16, yeah.
Did you grow up in LA?
I grew up in Boston, Massachusetts.
Nice, dude.
It's a lovely place if you're retarded. And no, yeah, I grew up in Boston.
When did you move out to LA?
Like 5 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
To start comedy or to go into acting?
Yeah, to do acting. Isn't that sad?
Not at all, dude.
No, yeah. But I never really did it, dude. Like I studied acting at a school for a little while. But when I got here, I never really did it because I was just got involved in stand-up.
Okay, so you moved. So you started stand-up basically right when you moved out here, then?
Yeah, basically.
No kidding, man.
Yeah.
Was this something you always wanted to do?
No. I still don't want to do it. I still don't want to be doing this, but I have no other reason to live. So you got to do something.
It's crazy though how like those traumatic experience in life, honestly, I feel like make you like everyone a better comedian.
Yeah.
Like I don't think there's any like comedian who I think is funny like who didn't live through like traumatic events while growing up.
Yeah. Yeah, and everybody's got a different trauma.
True.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, everybody's got different shit. I don't know what mine was.
Yeah.
No, I know what mine was. I don't know, dude. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to get into trauma. This isn't a therapy session.
You're good. You're good. So you lived in Boston your whole life then, and then you moved out here.
That was my trauma, living in Boston.
Yeah.
That'll do it to anybody.
I don't hear the accent though.
Thank God. Yeah, no, I never had one. Yeah, dude, I don't know. Growing up was weird for me because I was a big fat ass, got bullied a lot. I was like socially awkward and weird. I have a tic disorder where my body does involuntary movements.
Really?
I take medicine, so it's like under control now, but I got made fun of for that.
Damn, dude.
So I guess that trauma is what made me a weirdo. I'm old now, though. I should be over this stuff, but unfortunately, I'm not. Now I'll get there one day when I'm dead. I forget what else I was gonna say. Yeah, I guess that's about it. I don't know. Does everyone has trauma though, right? Everyone goes through shit.
Yeah, I think so.
But everyone doesn't become a comedian or a creative person. So what is that? I wonder.
Yeah, that's true, huh? I don't know. I think maybe it's just that for me anyway, I never knew how to express myself articulately.
Okay.
Like through my voice.
Yeah.
And then stand up was fun. Like I always thought it was like, oh, I can express myself through movies, the stuff like the scripts I write, what I direct and stuff like that. And they were great and everything, but the one thing I didn't like about it was the feedback was never honest. You know what I mean? Like you show all your friends your short film and then it's just like, oh yeah, that was great, dude. Where comedy is one of those things where you do something, you go test it out, and the feedback you get is more likely, more honest than your friends.
That's true.
Yeah, that's why I fell in love with comedy. And just going back to the articulate thing, it made me better at just speaking. And like honestly, you know what I mean? I was always the kind of guy who would kind of shy away from being honest and just make up fucking stupid lies.
Yeah.
About shit.
No, you're right. It helped me too. Yeah, I used to be way more shy and reserved. Mm-hmm. It's helped.
Definitely.
That was another reason I think I wanted to do it, to get better at that. and I'm still like the weirdo. So I don't know, but I am better than I was.
Yeah, it was wild too when I first started stand up. A buddy of mine was like, "Do you want to do this for real, or like is this like life coaching, like life training, like you trying to get some skills for life?" And I never looked at it that way, like skills for life.
It's good for both.
Right, definitely good for both.
Is this your girlfriend's painting?
Yeah, all of them, except one of them.
What are you doing to this poor girl? Jesus Christ. It's got like monsters on the wall here.
She actually, she's been doing like these little faces, like since she was a kid. She said since she was like 12 or 11, she would just draw them. She had like a notebook where she would draw all these fucking different faces, and then
it's like a horror movie in here.
Yeah,
it's like Paranormal Activity.
I love it though, dude.
No, I'm just fucking with you. I totally love it. I love art like that.
Yeah, it's so different, dude. Like compared to kind of like the art I'm used to seeing, which I've never like really grew up in art. Like I was never an art fan, you know what I mean? But she's from France, so she grew up in that. Like she went to school in France, and they teach a lot about art and like the psychology of it, like what to find, what to look for.
Okay.
So she's very like educated in that aspect.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
so
dude.
you learn things in France. We don't do that here. Where'd you grow up?
I was born in Hawaii, grew up in Vegas.
Oh, okay.
So that'll explain why I'm 34 years old and decided to start up stand up. I think we have
I'm way older, and I started. I started when I'm 41 years old. So
Boston. So
yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
You don't have family in Maui, do you? Or?
No, I don't have family. Like, no, not family, but like my mom has like a really close friend out there, and she ended up losing. Like her sister came to visit her, and her sister ended up losing her kids.
Jesus
to the fire,
Christ,
man.
dude.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, man. It was just weird shit that's happening out there, dude.
Oh,
weird
yeah.
fucking
It's really
shit.
weird.
Weird fucking shit. Just shady shit. And it's
I know. There's no water when the fire was going off.
And then there's sirens going to go off. And I'm telling you, bro, like living in Hawaii for that long and then going there every summer, those sirens, they do a test run on those signs every month.
Yeah, it almost, and people say it's conspiracy theory or whatever, but it almost seems like a land grab or something, like people trying to push out natives or something.
Dude, and the thing is that I remember just growing up, and this is just far away from conspiracy theories, but it's just like while growing up, I did hear stories about that kind of shit where these corporations want to go and get a particular land and then they pay everyone off. I mean, this is the first time from my knowledge that something like this had happened in Hawaii where they did, conspiracy theory again, like the lasers or whatever, set the whole thing on fire. But I don't know, it's just wild, bro. And then the fucking thing I thought was crazy was Oprah and The Rock asking everyone for money. Like, what the fuck, dude? Are you serious? This bitch is fucking net worth is like, what, $5 billion?
Yeah, it's hilarious.
It's like
they could fund the whole thing.
The whole fucking thing and write it off as tax.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Think of that part of it. Yeah, you're right.
But they're going out asking fucking everyone for money. And we're already struggling, bro.
It's
like
hilarious.
And it's weird too how like no one sees that we're kind of going downhill. Like, dude, just the gas right now going up to $7 in like 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago it was like $5.30.
I know. Yeah, I went to the gas station. I was like, what the hell happened? Like. It was like $6.50 or something.
It's crazy, man, and everyone's okay with it. You know what I mean? Let's just send more money to fucking Ukraine, dude.
Oh my god, dude. It's insane. Yeah,
let's just get into that, dude. Fucking, because I love how you do your skits on Instagram.
Oh, thanks,
because
dude.
It seems very like right in the middle. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But you are, it's especially the one. Which one? I'm always right.
Oh god,
dude,
yeah.
that one is hilarious. Bro.
Oh, thanks, dude.
That's very witty and sharp, and how you did that, and it's just a great skit, dude. What was the kind of like the motivation to start doing those things?
It's a long story. I mean, I was always a very left-wing person politically, but I guess I feel like the whole world changed when like Trump came around.
Yeah,
like 2016 especially. Is when things started getting nuts, and then COVID just blew everything out the window. And now we live in a clown world, basically, where like facts don't exist anymore, and everyone's got their own facts. It's just insane now. I mean, we could do a whole podcast about it, but how to get into it? Yeah, I don't know. So when Trump came around, I don't know. Everyone started going to extremes on both sides, and I feel like a lot of like the left-wing people that I knew, I don't know, I didn't really identify with some of the ridiculous stuff that they were going to, the extremes they were going to with it, I just thought it was like losing like just common sense, you know what I mean, and on a lot of issues. I would get into arguments with friends. I lost all my friends to this, like that I used to know. We couldn't talk anymore because it would just devolve into this bullshit arguing.
Yeah.
And then they started posting shit about me online. It was insane, dude.
Of course.
Yeah, they were
What a
like
fucking.
Yeah, they were like, well, they would shit all over my comedy posts. That's why I started doing the satire, because they're like, you know, things are getting so ridiculous. You know, the only way to deal with this is to joke about it. You know, like one of the first sketches I made was like making fun of when Biden said, "If you don't vote for me, you ain't black."
Dude,
you know,
what a
that
ridiculous fucking.
But that's the mentality, you know. Like, still, you know, you still see articles like.
Camera. Sorry about that, everybody. We had technical difficulties. My battery died, but we are in it again. Yes. We were talking about your satire, the sketches.
Oh yeah, politics.
But yeah, you were what's real or not, like facts and stuff like that. Everyone's just
everyone has their own facts. I don't know how that happened. I mean, social media is a part of it,
right?
You know, it just feeds you what your
algorithm.
It's like, look, you're right. Like,
yeah,
you know, like,
that's true, dude.
Everything you think is right. Everything.
It's so dangerous.
You don't see. You don't have any perspective on your opinions or anything. I mean, even at open mics or comedy in LA, like the amount of stuff I see where I'm like, I don't know, it's just like open season on like Republicans, you know what I mean? And I'm not even a Republican. I'm like you said, I don't know what I am, honestly, anymore. I used to be on the left.
Same here.
Now I don't even feel like a centrist, because that's like, feels like kind of like, you don't really have an opinion. I have,
and they hate you more.
Oh, they do.
Being a MAGA guy.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, right. Because it's just like, well, you're not going to choose for anything. You have to care, and it's just like, oh my gosh, dude. Like,
yeah, I care. I don't subscribe to this. Like, you're either this or that. Like, someone said that, like, you know, all these things have a spectrum now. Like gender is a spectrum. Well, why are politics not a spectrum? You know, like political opinions are a spectrum too. You know, like the way we think. I forget. It might be my friend Julia who said that. I don't remember. I thought. Do you know Julia Austin? She's a.
I've seen her at the mics. Yeah,
she's
great.
A funny comedian. I think she had a joke about that. Someone did. But anyway, yeah, politics is a spectrum. People are complicated. You don't just, it's not this or that. I don't know how you can just think that your side is right about everything.
100%.
It's just so crazy.
It's wild.
Like I just try to go with what, like common sense, you know, what makes sense. I don't care if the right is supporting it or the left is supporting it.
Well, I think we even live in a world now where critical thinking is just too hard for people. It really is hard. Dude.
They don't seem interested in it, or a lot of people,
right?
Don't.
Or they'll seem like they're interested, but they'll just really just read headlines of one, like of articles on one side. You know what I mean? They don't read the full article.
I don't know if a lot of people are aware that they're being fed one side. You know what I mean? Like if you only read and listen to mainstream stuff from the news outlets that we all know, that's one side. That's very one-sided. It's all very left-wing stuff. And I don't know if people are aware of that. I wasn't for a long time.
Me too.
I was just like, well, what do you mean? That's the news.
Right.
It's like, no, that's not the news. That's one side of a narrative.
Yeah.
And I remember I used to like hate Republicans. I used to think they were like these evil, terrible people.
Rich white men.
Yeah, like just the worst people on earth. And then I realized, wait, this doesn't make sense. There must be reasons for people having these different opinions.
Now, do you think they saw that, whoever it is they are running the world I'm referencing to, but do you think they saw that and started doing like this whole gender thing? And because it's like... You
mean like the elite people in power and stuff like that? Yeah,
because it's like they're already... Obviously, what I'm trying to get at is that the old theory of divide and conquer.
Yeah,
right? Like
that's totally what it is.
We're being divided by the politics, and now we're almost being divided by gender.
Yeah, anything to divide the people. It's the same thing. Yeah, divide and conquer. It's totally that. Like these corporations and the government, I think they like stoking these flames. And people think this is like conspiracy theory bullshit, but it's not.
No, not at all.
Like they love getting us arguing about gender and race and all this bullshit. so while they run off with all the money. You know what I mean?
And that's
like
what they've been doing.
Like you just said, like no one cares about. You were just saying like gas is $1 million. Like inflation, no one cares about that. I mean, there's people, we step over half dead homeless people every day in this city, and like we just kind of. Like, you're more likely to see someone outraged about gender pronouns than you are about any of that.
Right.
And that's crazy, you know, like, because I don't care what you want to do with pronouns, but, you know, one of these things is far affecting people in a way worse way than the other. Like, I guess it's different ways, different aspects of our lives, whether your identity versus... I don't know. I feel like your pronouns aren't going to matter if you can't afford to live or you're living on the street. So one of these things is way, I think, more vital than the other. But we give all our attention towards these things that I don't think matter as much, like identity or race or skin color or whatever the hell.
You're very well versed in this in terms of even talking about it and articulating your thoughts.
Well, I don't know if I am, but I hope
I
so.
think you are. Okay. Me, I'll just go fly off the fucking handle. I'll be like, oh, fuck it. I love conspiracy theories.
No, I mean, some conspiracy theories have become true now.
Yeah.
You know, the lab leak thing.
The vaccine.
I know. Yeah, I actually am working on a bit right now about that, and I haven't tried. I'm going to try it today. I don't know if you can win with that stuff in LA. I don't know. You know, that's a conversation I got in once with some friends. Yeah, we got into this conversation about should you ever blame the audience, you know? And we were trying to they were saying you should never blame the audience. And I agree in a lot of ways, but I also disagree in other ways. For instance, like if you're talking about certain topics like the vaccine or other political topics, like can you, I don't know, LA is very one-sided with that stuff.
Yeah.
So, you know, if a joke doesn't do well, is that the audience or is that you? Right. I mean, obviously, you try to make things objectively funny, I think. But it can be hard with people with different ideologies. You know, that's why I hate when people attack. Have you seen people be like, "Oh, conservative comedy, like it's not comedy or something"? Really? Well, you know what I mean. They're like, "Oh, that's not comedy because it's." I mean, people do it on the right too, like, "Oh, these liberal comedians."
That's true. That's
like,
very true. I've heard that.
Yeah, like the late night shows, they'll make fun of them because to say they're not funny because they're liberal. Like, well, I don't think the late night shows are funny anymore, but. Yeah.
True.
But they are still comedians. They're doing comedy. They're telling jokes. Just because you don't maybe agree with the joke or you don't like it, that doesn't mean it's not comedy.
Right. Because it's very subjective. Comedy.
Yeah,
is very
like you know, I'm not gonna get a kick out of the 5 millionth Trump impression on Saturday Night Live, but other people can't get enough of that.
Yeah, that's true.
So. That's where it's like, where do you blame the audience with that stuff? I don't. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I'm saying?
100%. Yeah.
I think ideally you don't want to blame the audience and you want to try to make things objectively funny. But with some topics, I don't know if you can. It's just, I guess I'll say it's incredibly difficult sometimes if you're dealing with political or social issues where people just might not get on board because they have a different ideology. Or like we were saying, people have different facts now. So it's like you're saying something that you know is true in your world, but in their world, they're like, what's he talking about?
Yeah.
You know? Like,
it's crazy.
The lab leak, what? Yeah. No, it's in... You know what I mean? Like, do you remember Jon Stewart going on Colbert talking about the lab?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah,
dude. Yeah. Fuck yeah, I do. Hell yeah, I do.
Yeah.
And he was fucking. Everyone thought he was crazy for it.
I know that. See, that's what I'm saying. Like
our government's never done this before, ever.
That's what's nuts. Yeah, I saw Parker on here talking about the Tuskegee experiment.
Exactly,
right?
Dude.
Yeah, right.
And like that's just one of many.
Yeah. Yeah. When did it become cool to trust the government? That is,
dude. Exactly.
It used to always be smart to question things, to certainly not trust the government. Now it's like, what the hell? When did that happen?
I totally agree, dude. Do you remember? I think it was the guy for Green Day, the lead singer of Green Day, but he was saying that how he wants to. It was after abortion things and how he wants to leave California and go to Britain because of the abortion laws.
Yeah, I saw
and
that.
his fucking dumbass, Britain has more harsh fucking abortion laws than California. Fucking retard. Fucking A, dude. This is like what you were saying, the society we live in. Like, people will not do their research and just fucking go off and say how they feel.
Yeah, it's sad. I mean, I love Green Day. They were one of my first bands. No, I love their band, their music. I'm wearing an Offspring shirt. So, I mean, these guys, they kicked their drummer out of their band because he didn't want to get the vaccine.
Get the fuck out of here,
No, they
man.
really did. I mean, I love this record. That's why I wear their shirt. But yeah, I'm pretty sure they did that.
That was a weird time too, man, with the vax. Like, that's why I used to work in Hollywood, and it was like October 21, dude, where I was on set and they were telling everyone, like, you got to get your vaccine. And I was just like, well, here it goes. I'm going to be jobless. And I was for a very long time.
That's insane.
Dude, it was wild, man. It was wild. And how everyone treated me, dude, like, even my friends, dude, I say this a lot. It's just like, they didn't even take the time to understand why I didn't want to take the vaccine, because I was against vaccines before fucking COVID. That's what everyone needs to understand.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Like, I was not with it, dude.
Yeah.
And it's because in Hawaii, I grew up, my mom was a nurse at a hospital, so I would get up to date with my vaccines. And in Hawaii, I had asthma. I was allergic to everything, right? I had fucking asthma attacks once every other month, and I would have to take an asthma shot along with my vaccines. And then when I moved to Vegas, my mom wasn't a nurse anymore, so I didn't have that luxury of going and getting them for free. And I got better.
Wow.
Dude, yeah. And it was every time because back then I went to Catholic schools my whole life. So every time, like, when we go to middle school to high school, I need a vaccine. From high school to college, I need a vaccine. And those 2 times I got crazy sick, like sick than I ever had.
Yeah, different people react differently to drugs, and it's insane to have mandates, or, it's just total insanity.
Dude, and
especially coming from the my body, my choice people.
Oh my gosh, dude, don't even get me started on that. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, like, none of my friends asked me. They were just, and it was funny how, like, as the year went on, like, from 21 to 22, it was like the first time they were just like, oh, there's no, like, I would say I'm not going to get the vaccine. Like, oh, there's no fucking microchip. What are you, a microchip guy? And it was everything the news was saying, right? And then 6 months later, it was like, the news was like, you got to do it because you have to be, you have to keep everyone safe. You know what I mean? And then everyone was fucking saying that. And then fucking another 6 months, the fucking media was like, no, well, you got to make sure you keep yourself safe. This is all about you. And then, dude, every time I talked to a friend, every 6 months, they would just repeat what the media had said. I'm like, you still haven't asked me why I'm not a fucking vaxxer. Like,
yeah, my friends asked me, didn't really try to understand anything that I thought. They basically just called me, sexist, racist, transphobe.
MAGA.
Yeah, like
Trumpy.
Just because I wasn't in 100% agreement on everything,
Like, I'm for vaccines. I just think people have the right to choose whether or not they want it.
Of course.
And the thing is, dude, crazy. I was driving yesterday, and on the radio, they were pushing the booster again. And at the end of the fucking... Dude, at the end of the advertisement, they're like, well, the vaccine isn't for everyone, so make sure you do you go see a medical doctor to see if you're right for it. Oh, okay. And I was like, oh my God. After 2 years of pushing everyone to get this shit, now you're coming out and saying that?
Yeah, dude, you can't even question the vaccine on YouTube, or you get your account banned, so you have to, like, say it's safe and effective,
Exactly.
Or they'll... they could ban your account.
I mean, they just do it with Russell Brand. Yeah, Russell Brand did that.
But that stuff's insane. I mean, I don't know if he's, I have no way of knowing if he's guilty of those charges or not. I mean, there's not even charges; they're accusations. There's no criminal thing, at least at this point. It's just nuts, though, because he's getting banned everywhere off of. What is this, like, accusations? What the hell is that? That's like hearsay almost, or something, like. And I don't know. That's crazy to me for multiple reasons, but especially because that treatment isn't across the board. Like
100%.
Like Joe Biden has a sexual assault accusation. Is he banned from YouTube? You know what I mean? Like,
he's the fucking president, dude.
I know, exactly. It's like to me, it's very clear that they just want to shut Russell Brand up, regardless of whether he's guilty or not. I have no idea. But they're definitely, like, the government in the UK got involved. They were, like, pressuring the social media companies to ban him.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
I guess that makes sense. He's from there. I guess.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. They clearly want to shut him up, and it's because he attacks their whole ridiculous,
ideology.
Anyone who calls out what you were talking about of the divide and conquer bullshit that the government does, the media does. I mean, yeah, anyone who calls that out is like a easy target for these people. They're going to come after them.
And it's wild though, just like to think about that. And we were going through this in LA, but is really like the other 49 states like this? You know what I mean? Maybe New York, right? Seattle, Oregon, and stuff like that. But like, I don't feel like the rest of the country is about like this.
Oh, the hardcore one-sided thing. Yeah. No, LA and New York are probably, Boston's pretty hard left too.
No kidding. They are really?
Yeah, I mean, there's the meathead population, obviously, that you see in the movies and everything. But, politically, it's a very left-wing place. We elect Democrats all the time and on board with all the left-wing stuff.
Okay. Oh, yeah, Massachusetts.
And it's fun. I mean, huh?
Massachusetts,
yeah. And it's funny, like, it's just, you talk about this stuff and people think you're a conservative Republican or something, which,
I am not.
I'm not either. Yeah. I'm pro-choice. I believe in universal health care.
I don't give a fuck about your fucking pronouns. You know what I mean? I really don't. I could care less.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the only thing that bothers me with pronouns is I think like I don't care what someone's pronouns are, but when it gets to the point where you're like forcing someone. Like compelled speech kind of stuff.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? That's the only thing that would bother me with pronouns. Like, because that's like a freedom of speech kind of thing. It's also like, I feel like gender being a spectrum, that is an ideology. Do you know what I mean? Like that is a belief system. It's almost like a religious belief or something like that. It's like, you can't expect everyone to think that way. To think that gender is a spectrum. Right. I mean, if somebody believes that, that's fine. That's how I feel about everything, like just don't force your beliefs or your way of life on other people. That's
exactly.
I don't care how you live, do what you want, but don't when people start forcing it on other people, that's what I don't like. And that's why any kind of compelled speech bothers me or anything like that.
And it's crazy too because we live in a society where a lot of people don't believe in religion, you know what I mean, or are against religion,
it's
and yet
going away. Yeah,
they turn science and their ideologies into religion.
Yeah, no, politics
trust
is
the
religion.
Science. Trust the science.
Science is religion to people.
Man.
Politics, gender and race, that's become like a religion to people.
True.
They get very dogmatic about these things.
What do you think happened? Because you're obviously a lot older than I am.
What do I think happened?
Yeah, like what do you think had changed?
I think Trump broke everybody's brain and people started going to the extremes. And then also at the same time, social media came into play and divided people in crazy ways. And people live in these bubbles and everyone, I don't know. There's so many factors that led to it. You know what I mean? People live in bubbles on social media. They get off on like screaming at people and putting each other down.
Dude.
Like social media is a miserable place.
Right.
Like, I don't know. I'm trying to think what else led to it, but I think just
education. I think education's a huge thing. Go ahead.
Oh no, like which kind of education?
Well, an example that I always give is that we weren't taught the truth, I don't think. Because growing up for me, I'm 34, and a lot of my schooling, this is like it's just an example, but a lot of my schooling, they would teach us that, oh yeah, the fucking Christopher Columbus came here with his 3 ships, and we broke bread with the fucking natives, and everything was great. You know what I mean, dude? It wasn't until I was 24, 25 when The Revenant came out, where I saw that movie. I was like, wait, like this is what happened? Like, I don't know if you ever saw the movie.
I don't think I saw that.
One of the opening shots is fucking Leonardo DiCaprio standing in front of a huge hill of buffalo head. And I was like, I saw it with my friends. I was like, what was that? And he goes, bro, like that's what the government did to take their land. And I was like, wait, what? And I did the research, bro. Oh my God. I went down a rabbit hole. And that's when I was just like, our government is fucking with us, dude.
Oh yeah.
Hardcore.
Of course. Yeah.
Like it's and we hear these stories all the time. I said it before, but like the movie coming out, Killers of a Flower Moon.
Yeah,
the Martin Scorsese one. You know what I mean? Like the Osage tribes. Like They had all this land, they had the oil, but yet the government wouldn't allow them to dictate how to use their money because they were uneducated. So what would happen is they would get white men who were their, curators for the money. And
Right.
a lot of the times these guys would just marry into the family because that's how it worked. You marry, you get their inheritance.
Well, didn't they kill a lot of
They
them?
killed
too?
all, dude, most of them. Like
Right.
that book is insane. It's one of my favorite books I've read, and I
Yeah.
love David Grand. This is great. I get to fucking plug my fucking favorite author right here.
I
Dude.
haven't read. I never learned to read. But no. I've read about the book. That's sad. I've read about the book, but I've never read the book. That's
Just see the movie, dude.
I can see the movie.
But yeah, it's just there's so many stories of fucking our government doing the most shady shit, and yet everyone's like, "Oh, it would never happen now."
Yeah, I don't. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know, dude.
Yeah.
None of it makes any sense. It is very strange that. I don't know I don't get it. I don't know the resistance side of politics.
Right.
Who are they resisting? They seem to love the government. I don't understand.
Right.
I thought we were supposed to question the government and know about things like that. And I don't know. It's very convoluted.
What trips me out too is like the shit that's happening in Ukraine and Russia. It's just like how much of this is real? You know what I mean? Because we think about propaganda. You know what I mean? Like this is like we talk about how Putin's authoritarian, like how he just wants all the power and how he'll put people in jail who are against him. And then we're kind of doing the same thing here.
I mean,
Right?
certainly we do a lot of the same stuff for sure.
And that to me is wild. That it's just people can't really see that.
Yeah, I don't see much of a difference between us going to Iraq and Russia going into Ukraine.
Yeah.
I mean, we do equally bad things.
I agree.
We've always have.
And maybe it's just part of human nature, man, because we were barbaric. Fuck it. Or we are barbaric. Still.
No, it is human nature. Yeah, it is. I mean, every society, I don't know, there's always been conquerors and whatever, and victims, probably throughout all human history. It is how people are. Now we're getting way off track, though. What was I saying about what we were saying about? I don't know. With Ukraine, I don't know. It's just we're fighting a proxy war, basically, which I think is crazy. I don't see it ending well.
No, man.
I'm concerned about World War III.
Dude, I think that's
personally.
what's going to happen.
I think we should be trying to de-escalate, and instead we're sending all this weapons and money and escalating and playing around with what could lead to World War III. And I feel like I don't think the elite people in charge give a crap because they're making money and they'll probably make even more money if we have World War III.
Do you think this is like a scare tactic though? Like how everyone thinks World War III is going to start, like going to happen? Because again, going back to the government, they've always done scare tactics to raise taxes. I feel like that's what they're going to be pushing for the next election. If Trump gets in, he's going to go to war. Yet he didn't start any of the fucking wars. He did not start one war, dude. Not one.
Yeah, the lesser of two evils crap. They'll pull that out. I feel like Biden is inevitably going to get elected again, which is insane. Insane because he'll literally be a corpse if he gets elected.
I mean, he
again.
is now. I mean,
he can barely talk now.
Dude, like, what did they say? I saw an article this morning how Biden like made history for being like the first president to go to the picket line or some shit. I'm like, this guy. It was a 30-second clip. I'm like, all this guy had was 30 seconds. Like, what the fuck, man?
Which picket line?
It was for the car workers or something like that, like the automobile workers, and he just went.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
Yeah, dude, and it's just like, gosh.
Didn't he just crush the railroad union strike? I don't remember exactly what happened with that. But
No, I didn't even hear about that.
I thought he screwed them over, but I'm a dumbass, so I don't really know.
Yeah, and I read it on CNN, so I don't know.
Oh, okay. It was probably a green screen then. No, I'm just kidding.
No, but how about that though? Like I've seen a lot of videos of Zelensky.
Yeah,
dude, they'd had one where he was talking, right, and then they would cut to the crowd. Bro, he's in the fucking crowd.
Yeah,
he himself is in the crowd. Like, whether or not this was fake or whoever made it, bro. Like, but still, like, this is information that's being pushed out to masses, and it's like,
Yeah, it's very weird.
And I think they like it. I think the elites love the fact that people can make their own kind of misinformation clips and push it out.
Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of misinformation. It's just some is not approved of by the powers that be, and that's the kind they try to get rid of. Because, like, you know, there's tons of misinformation on YouTube about the vaccine from the other side. Like you know, like you just said, the media was saying forever, oh, if you get the vaccine, you won't get COVID. If you know, they said all this stuff. That's all still on YouTube, you know?
What?
Well, I'm sure it is, like old news clips of.
That's
you know what I mean?
true, dude.
Like, no one has banned that for misinformation.
But then they'll fucking say, oh, we didn't know, it was new. And it's just like,
Right, yeah.
When do we know? When do we know as people then what the fuck they're doing?
It's,
I don't think we ever
science
have.
is flawed. Humans are flawed. You know, that's why an experimental drug, of course you should be skeptical of it. You know, it's crazy, the attitude that, oh, if you're skeptical of an experimental drug, you're a racist Trump supporter.
Yeah,
like, it's nuts, dude.
And then fucking, what is it called? Like, they'll have drugs that are approved that are commercials on TV, and they'll list 27 different side effects.
Yeah,
and it's just
I'm
like, yeah, let's not
trying to do a bit about this. I'll let you know if it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna try it today. I wrote it last night. But.
How do you tap dance around that? Because with you, I think maybe you had one or two. I went to go see you last Saturday, like I said, and you had like one or two political jokes where you would lean on the one side, but you'd bring it back right in the middle. I think that's so crafty how you weaved your way through that.
Oh,
what is that process like for you?
Man, I want to try to make things. I want to try to make things objectively funny as much as possible, while also trying to make some kind of say what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, I think it's way over the top how much money we're sending to Ukraine.
Oh my gosh, dude, it's ridiculous. What is it now? Like fucking
at
10
least
billion or some shit?
Oh, probably 40 billion at least.
Oh my
at least
gosh,
with between weapons and money.
But everyone in Hawaii gets 750.
Right, exactly. Yeah, so I think that's crazy. And you know, we have a humanitarian crisis here in LA every day with the homeless people.
Yeah. It's growing with all these, like in New York, I hear.
And they've invested all this money into it, and it doesn't do anything because obviously it's getting mismanaged, and God knows who's pocketing it.
Yep,
you know what I mean?
Exactly, dude.
More reason to not trust the government.
Exactly.
Yeah, I saw a news report that said something like, with the amount of money that's been spent on homelessness, like they could have over the past year or two, they could have literally rented an apartment for every single homeless person for that time period, for the amount that's been wasted and has led to nothing.
Jesus
so I don't know what
dude.
they're doing with these funds, but it's not happening. But anyway, yeah. So I think what's all the money to Ukraine, and this is not to sound unsympathetic to the people suffering in Ukraine.
Yeah, right,
I get it.
Right.
Obviously, it's terrible.
Right.
I think Putin invading is terrible. That's not, but at the same time, there's all kinds of terrible things happening around the world, and I think we have to take care of home first,
right?
And then maybe if we had the resources, help other places. But it's just, I don't know why people don't seem to understand that. Well, it's like, if you have a family, if your kid is starving, are you going to give your neighbor food? Yeah. No, you have to help your kid first, then you can help the neighbor. Like, isn't that common sense?
Well, I think that that idea of not helping us but helping other people, it's because people who are anti-Trump, because Trump was like America first. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
when they
now
hear
that's
that,
like,
they're just like, no.
Yeah, they think that's like
Trump.
racist or something.
Dude.
No, it's not. This isn't about skin color. It's about we have a country that includes literally everyone in the country, regardless of skin color or whatever. And we need to take care of our country, and then we can think about other things.
Right.
But,
and America is the only place, I think, in history that is an open land for any immigrant, any ethnicity. You know what I mean? Like, you can't, dude, people, it's so easy for people to come here legally. Like I had a roommate, one of my first roommates ever. He was from Colombia. He was a political refugee.
Oh,
bro,
wow.
but he did the thing, and now this dude is like, this was like 10 years ago, but the dude is retired because he got he worked, went to school, got his green card, fucking, and then went into fucking investing into homes and rebuilding them. And now, dude, fucking like, this was 15 years ago. The dude's retired. You
That's
know what I mean?
crazy,
Like,
dude.
that's a perfect example
yeah.
of what fucking America, like, if you just follow what the steps, you can become very successful and retire before you're 40.
Yeah, if you do the right things or certain things, you can definitely do that. Clearly, I have not done those things, but but you know, a lot of that I blame myself for. You know, I mean, look, it's not easy. The system is rigged against you. You
100%.
know, it's to keep people in their place for sure. But if you work hard and do certain things, you can do what you can accomplish what you want. I think,
Right.
Whatever that may be. I was never. And this was stupid of me, but I just never cared about money enough. Like I always was just interested in being creative or things like music or art or comedy or whatever. That's what made me happy. And I was never focused on, I got to make a lot of money. You know, it wasn't, I don't know.
Yeah.
I should have thought about that more. But now we're off track. We were talking about jokes in Ukraine. But I was saying, like, you know, I think that's crazy with the Ukraine money. But how do you point that out in a funny way? Like the way I did it was like I have a joke where I say like it's like that we should like we had all these home. I don't want to tell the joke. Here,
Yeah,
but,
no, you're good.
Just the basic joke is like we got all these homeless people here, but we're sending all this money to Ukraine.
That's a good joke, bro.
Yeah, it's
That's
like,
a really good joke.
Send the homeless to Ukraine. You know, that's the joke. Thank you for saying that. But, you know, that I don't know. And actually I did get yelled at for that joke before, and I stopped doing it. A lady got mad at me and told me that people would never think that's funny, and like got in my face and was mad about it.
Jesus.
And then I did it again, and people were laughing at it.
It's a good joke,
and
dude.
it got. I did a sketch, and it got shared on TikTok, like 2 million views or something.
Good for you, dude.
But that was a way. Now I've screwed this all up. How are you going to make this into a clip? This isn't going to work. But that's what the hell was I saying? Yeah, I don't know. That was a way to try to make it funny because it's so absurd. We're not going to send homeless people to Ukraine, but you know, a way to point out the craziness that we have these people here suffering and we're sending all this money. Yeah. But do it in a way that hopefully is so absurd that it's comical or something.
And so I appreciate that. I appreciate you, like, your writing because of that. Because you're very, like, it seems like you're going straight to a point and you're making a point, and then all of a sudden you turn it on its head and make it silly. And I enjoy that so much, dude.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. I was trying to do that. Yeah, I was trying to do that. I try to do that. I was trying to do that with this COVID thing. Yeah, I don't know.
You ever try to go to like OC and do open mics out there?
No, isn't that where the Nazis are? I hear that's where. That's what everyone says, right? Have you been down there?
No, but I've heard a lot of great things about mics down there. I have.
Yeah, I haven't been. I know it's not as left wing,
right? Yeah,
mentality. So that would be nice. And you know, we've shot a lot on left wing people here.
Easy targets. No, I'm just
kidding. If they weren't such libtards, then we could. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's fun. I don't know why that is. I mean, look, there's plenty of idiots on the right too. You know.
Oh my gosh, it's ridiculous. Dude.
Yeah, I mean, they're like Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's a clown too, but maybe it's just because I have most interactions with far left mentality. I don't really interact with right wing people.
Well, they had to stay quiet for the past 3 years, man. All those dudes had to stay quiet before they fucking be. I don't even know, but they had to stay quiet, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. The left wing stuff just runs culture. I think maybe that's why.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like it runs everything. Like that's what's in your face on news, entertainment.
Yeah, man.
And also we live in LA, so that's the mentality and the mindset. And it's just weird because I was a left wing person my whole life.
Me too.
But I feel like the left, I still consider myself a liberal. And you hear a lot of people say this, I feel like. A lot of my liberal...
Like a 90s liberal.
Yeah, 90s liberal.
Yeah.
Like a lot of my liberal values have not changed, but the left has gone to these extremes, and I'm like, what are you guys doing over there? Like,
it has been nice though. I'm not gonna lie. For like the past couple weeks, it feels like a lot more people are being open. Not who aren't on the left, but people who know the vaccine was fucking stupid and fucking all this shit.
Dude, my friend,
Lockdowns.
this is a part of the thing I'm trying to work on. My friend told me she got vaccinated 4 times and then got the virus 4 times. I was like, are they injecting you with COVID? Like, what?
And it's like she won't put it fucking two together. You know what I mean?
Insane, dude.
It's crazy.
And I love her.
Dude.
She's my good friend, but it's just funny to me.
I didn't catch it once. I didn't even get sick throughout this whole 3 years. Yeah,
I got it
not
one
once.
time.
I think I got it once, but it was like in January of 2020. And I only had it for like a day and a half. Didn't lose any smell, didn't lose taste. And I actually just flew back from France. So I think it was just because I was jet lagged. You know what I mean? But a day and a half, I was fine. But again, I didn't take any vaccines for 10 years before that.
Your story is perfect because it shows like how people have different reactions to medications. I've had a lot of bad reactions to medications. I got the first vaccine. I never got any boosters or anything. But
so you got the first 2?
Yeah,
okay.
I wish I didn't now.
Yeah.
I certainly like.
I know a lot
it
of
weirds
people.
Me out.
I know a lot of people who say
That
doctors,
regret.
dude. Doctors fucking are just like, oh, I shouldn't have gotten it.
Oh,
Type
really?
shit. Yeah.
Yeah,
Seriously.
dude. It just at this point it just seems like big pharma trying to make money. That's all it seems like to me. Especially people getting their 5th, 6th booster. It's just like, and you're still getting COVID, and it's just like they're just trying to make money, and it's just ridiculous.
And it's just like, oh well, the shot's for free, and it's like people don't understand that the shots is gonna make you sick to spend money on medication to help you with.
I didn't even think of that.
Well, there's a whole thing now. Like nurses are coming out and saying that they've got these allergic reactions, and they weren't taking any medication before. Now they're taking anywhere from 20 to 30 because of the fucking injuries, because they had to get boosted and all that shit. You know what I mean? And it's like, dude, people don't like. That's the stuff that should be talked about.
You can't really talk about it. I was thinking about how it's funny with YouTube. You have to always say it's safe and effective. That means even if you have a vaccine-related injury,
right,
you'd have to be like, I'm paralyzed from the waist down, but this vaccine is safe and effective.
Yeah, man.
It's like crazy. And
like back in the day with science, it's like people would, I'm not saying me, but like people who didn't catch it and who didn't get the vax, they would look at those people and do tests on them to make the vaccine better. There was absolutely no talk about that to make it better. They're just like, yep, here we go, another one.
Right, yeah.
Like they're not getting better. The vaccines the boosters, they're not getting any better.
No, I don't. I never want to get another one. I know that.
Yeah. I told my girl if we have kids, we're going to France. There's no way we're going to have our kids have 72 vaccine shots before they even turn 12.
That's how many there's. Dude,
so have you heard of Robert Kennedy Jr.?
Yeah, of course.
So basically, that he did that was his thing. It was just he did a fucking breakdown of all like different countries and how many vaccines they get, what the ratio is when you get the vaccine to autism or allergic or asthma, all that stuff. And America by far is the most vaccines and the most autism we've ever seen in any other country. Wow. Dude, like the Amish people, everything's organic for them in their food. They don't do any of the medical stuff. Or like literally almost nowhere is fucking autism. Like they don't have it at all.
I mean, yeah, there's so much processed garbage that we eat and consume in a million ways that God knows what's happening.
Yeah.
Dude, this is funny. I feel like we've barely talked about stand-up. We've just talked about fucking politics.
Yeah. Well, no, this is good though. This is like
I like it. It's just funny.
It's just what I think people need fucking. The one thing I do hate as well is how people have no vested interest in it. Where they're just like, oh, I don't care. And then when push comes to shove, in a year or two from now, everyone's gonna be like, well, what the fuck happened? You know, that's one thing that really is
like they don't care about the vaccine COVID crap.
Well, they don't care about anything, and then fucking when we fucking start going downhill, everyone's like, "Well, what happened?" It's because fucking people like you didn't care, didn't take the time to fucking read.
One of the most glaring things with that to me is the border stuff. Like when Trump was president, it was like, oh, there's kids in cages and there's the border and look what they're doing. And now the border is like just as screwed up right now, but no one talks about it anymore.
No one wants to talk about it.
Nothing changed.
And if we did a little bit of critical thinking, we could fucking see why that is, maybe, right? But no one wants to think. No one wants to think. No one wants to read.
I don't know. I think they just get caught up in the like pop aspect of politics, just like Trump bad kind of stuff. And like, I don't like Trump. I've never voted for Trump. I don't think I would ever vote for Trump. But I also think there's much bigger problems in the country than Trump.
Right.
That people just don't really give a crap about because they're, I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know why.
Yeah. And I'm going back to the RFK thing. They're censoring him, like all this other shit.
Oh, are they?
Dude, it's ridiculous. They won't even let him have like not rally. I don't want to call it rally, but like the DNC won't even let him go.
Oh yeah, they won't have a debate.
Yeah.
I remember.
Like why?
I saw that.
Why? Like what are they scared of? You know what I mean? What are they scared that
Joe
he's going to
Biden
say?
can't talk, so
yeah, that's very true. Jesus, he really can't.
I don't know how the hell. Yeah,
I'm excited to see what's going to happen, bro. I think that all hell is just going to break loose. What I'm actually fearful of is that we just go to the extreme on the right. That's what I'm very scared of, because that's just going to that will cause World War III, I think people are just going to be so fucking fed up with this extreme fucking every 4 years going this way, where everyone just has nothing else to do except just attack each other.
I don't think it would go extreme to the right, though, because I don't see how it would happen. Because left-wing stuff dominates a lot of culture and media, entertainment, news. I can't imagine how that would happen.
Do you have you seen a shift at all with what the news is talking about? Like, has there been a shift, or are they leaning just still on the more left side? Because I don't watch any of the news. I'm not really up to date with.
Yeah, I've kind of tuned out too from at least mainstream news for sure. Yeah, especially lately. I've been so busy working and doing stand up. It's still the same garbage, but maybe they seem a little more willing to discuss things, and certainly more than they were in like 2020 or something. But if once Trump's like next year, it might just go back to the insanity. Yeah. Because it'll just be like beat Trump at any cost, kind of. Because I'm assuming it's just going to be Biden and Trump again, right?
I really hope not, bro.
I mean, me too. But
Jesus, if that's the best we can do, my gosh, man, like what are we doing? Like even just the 2016, it was like, is this the best we can do? And then 2020 happened. It was like, is this the best that we can do? And it's like now it's just like, what do we do?
That's a really good point.
We got to fucking change something, man, because it's not working, dude. Whatever we're doing, it is not fucking working.
I don't see it changing. I don't know how it could change.
I don't know either, man. I always tell people there's got to be like a revolution. I think there's just going to be, people have to come together, dude.
Dude, we had one January 6th. You missed it, dude. We fucking did it.
Bro, crazy enough, this apartment right down the street from here, I was walking to the smoke shop, and dude, SWAT, FBI were around that fucking apartment complex. Apparently one of the dudes there was at the January 6th rally.
Oh my God,
bro.
Dude.
It was insane. Literally, bro, like fucking SWAT, fucking trucks, FBI, all with their jackets. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And it was because
insane.
one dude.
Guy.
And they called the people because they saw the dude holding like a belt and they thought it was a weapon. So they fucking hit up the FBI. All this crazy shit, dude.
That's nuts.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I don't know, man. I mean, January 6th. Yeah, that was fun, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, revolution, I don't know how that's going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't see it ever happening.
Or do you think this is the end of America? Because there is that idea,
too. Oh, yeah, America's over, that's for sure.
Because it's a thing where a country will go into power on average 250 years, and we're coming, it's like 245 right now, 247.
It's definitely on the downward slope, for sure. How would a revolution happen? I don't see it. There was like 50 January 6th in 2020 on the other side. You know, there were all these riots and everything.
Yeah, that's actually a perfect example.
You're not even supposed to talk about that. You
Yeah,
know, those
right?
were peaceful protests.
Ooh. Sorry, don't cancel my podcast, please.
See, that's the kind of abandonment of reality I don't understand. You can't talk about, you can't even point out.
Yeah.
You know, I had friends that were like, though there were right-wing instigators. That's who caused the riots.
The QAnons.
Dude, like, and then the right-wing people said the same thing about January 6th. Oh, the Antifa did it.
That's right.
It's like, dude, just own your shit.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I get it. There were tons of peaceful protests in 2020, and that's great. That's
there are
fine.
tons of fucking riots, too.
Yeah, tons of riots, exactly. And then they're like, oh, well, 90% of them were peaceful. Well, that 10% can do a lot of damage. Billions of dollars, I think, of damage, I'm pretty sure.
Dude, I was living in Hollywood at the time, and I would go down there, bro. And this is where kind of like, because I was all about that. You know what I mean? I was all about like, cops are fucking assholes, blah, blah, blah. And I was still liberal.
Oh, okay.
And then
when did you feel different?
So this is the story, actually. I went down there to take photos, and there was just one woman who was, and obviously these are all small businesses. They're all fucked up, but there's just one woman standing her ground, waiting for someone to come help her clean up her shop. And she was an immigrant, dude. And she said I don't know where she was from, but she had told, I had kind of briefly talked to her, and she said she was just going to move back to her country because this is too much.
Crazy, man.
Dude, and this is someone who moved here, did everything right, got her fucking, green card or citizenship or whatever, opened up a business, a successful business on Melrose.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? Melrose and Fairfax, bro. Like that's
damn.
Yeah. And she just couldn't do it, and I totally get it.
Yeah.
And that's when I was just like, there's something to this here. Like, why do people want to move? And then had a long conversation with a buddy of mine he grew up in a Republican family, a conservative family, but he's more of a libertarian. And he was just like, he asked me, he's like, why are you going out there and like doing that? Well, it's because I'm tired of the cops fucking killing black people. You know what I mean? And he was just like, dude, one of our good homies, he's half black, half Mexican. And this is in Vegas. And people were going up to both of them are cops basically, but they were going up to them yelling at the black mom. It's just like, you're a fucking, fucking MAGA person. And then that Mexican dad, they're like, you kill the N-words and stuff like that. And these are white people saying that to them. And I was just like, me hearing that, I was like, there is something to this that I'm not seeing. And I just had to open my mind. I had to be very open. It was hard, believe me, it was very hard to become open-minded during that time. Yeah. But as soon as I fucking got it, like it clicked, I was like, holy fuck, we're being played.
Yeah, to me, some of that stuff also feels like the divide and conquer thing.
Right.
Because it's like, police brutality is a problem, for sure.
100%.
It's a real thing, and it does affect black people more than other people. Right. But it's way overblown in the media, like to an insane extent. Like,
agreed.
There's people on the left that thinks cops like kill like
thousands
of black people every year on our black people. Like, the real number is something like, I don't know, something between like 10 to 20 people, unarmed black people a year get shot and killed by the cops.
I think even more white men get killed, right?
Yeah. I mean, the population there's more white people in America, but yeah, no. But I mean, there's a man named Tony Timpa that was killed do you know Tony Timpa? He was killed by the cops in the same way they killed George Floyd. Like, he's a white guy. They kneeled on him.
Oh shit.
He couldn't breathe. They were laughing while he was basically dying. You can watch the video. It's on YouTube. But that, I don't remember what year that was from. It was from like a few years ago. But killed in the same way George Floyd was. But no one knows who that guy is. You know what I mean? And
what the fuck?
And I don't know. I feel like, and this isn't to diminish what happened to George Floyd. It's fucking terrible.
Yeah, you're right.
And it's disgusting. But I'm just trying to point out how the media reports on these things. Mm-hmm. Like, no one knows who Tony Timpa is, but they know who George Floyd is. No one knows the name of, like, I can't tell you the name of many people that aren't black that have been killed by the cops, but there's been a lot of them. There's a reason for that. Like, the media, like, hypes these things up. And that's not to diminish what happened 100%. To those people. It's terrible. But, you have to put it into perspective. I don't know. It's a really dangerous thing because it like gets people into a state of hysteria. I I don't know. The people, if anyone is even listening to this, they probably hate me for even saying this. I'm not trying to take away from what black people deal with. I understand what's going on, and I want police reform. I want better police. I think defunding the police is a terrible idea.
I mean, we see it now.
Yeah,
we see it now, dude.
We should be reforming. We should be, getting better police. In fact, they did polls of black people, even at the time, I remember, they didn't want less police.
Yeah,
they want good police, better police. And who the hell wants less security in their neighborhood?
Right. And I think I saw the same video. Was it the video where they would go into the hood, ask black people about
Maybe.
police, and then they would go to like a fucking rich neighborhood?
I've seen that too. Yeah. I feel like the people yelling defund the police are like white kids from the suburbs.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't want to defund the police. You just want people that are qualified and aren't bigots or whatever. Anyways, I'm getting canceled after this, I think.
The one thing that's weird too about that was just like how everyone viewed policemen after that. Like I remember I would go to film shoots and there would be just a guy a policeman doing a regular stop, and everyone would be all eyes on him, waiting for him to do something. And it's just like, dude, if we keep doing this, one person represents the whole people. We're never going to fucking grow from this, because that's what politics is, right? You believe in one person. Like if I believe in Trump, everyone's going to think I'm a racist bigot who fucking America first is a fucking asshole, all this stuff. But, and it's like, if we got to keep that same energy, right? Like if we'll go into Hollywood. Like if all these stories are coming out that people are rapists and stuff like that, then if we take the same idea from one person representing a whole industry, then everyone in Hollywood's a rapist, pedophilia.
And there are people that think that. Yeah.
Are there really?
Well, right-wing people think everyone in Hollywood's a pedophile. You know what I mean?
Pedophile and gay. That's true.
Yeah, that's and even that's a stereotype for gay people or trans people, that they're just groomers. You know what I mean? There's a small segment of pedophiles in everywhere, but that doesn't represent the gay community.
Exactly.
Or it doesn't represent all of Hollywood, or I hope not. I don't know.
I don't know either, man.
There are a lot of examples of it, which is not good. But I don't know. It's just this is why you need to have like nuanced conversations and things, but you can't like what I just said about the police brutality. I feel like someone would call me a racist for saying that.
100%.
And it's nuts. Like I'm just trying to have a look at the facts of policing and look at reality of what's going on. Like, yes, black people deal with police brutality more than other groups for sure. I wasn't like, people act like I'm trying to diminish that fact just by pointing out like, well, what about like, why are we being fed this one thing so much? Like it's to get people into hysteria so that they keep watching the news, so that we fight amongst ourselves. Like, and what good came from any of that, man?
None.
Like
Nothing, man.
What has there been police reform, like meaningful police reform? I feel like there hasn't been.
No. If anything, an extra class a year, right? An extra fucking 3-hour class a year.
Yeah, all I saw was the defunding stuff, which obviously has, at least I think it's been a nightmare. But
no, I agree with you. I agree with you.
It's just crazy. That's not the way to deal with things.
Let's. Do you mind if we bring up your job? Can we
talk
about
that's
that?
fine.
Yeah. So you were talking about you're an editor for
the Jimmy Dore Show.
Jimmy Dore Show, and you were speaking briefly about how he's a political comedian.
Yeah, he's a stand-up comedian. He does a lot of political humor. The show is like a political news show. It's a cool show. There are comedy bits on it sometimes, but it's mostly straight news.
What like is it very like straightforward news, like very in the middle, or is you kind of?
I mean, it's just kind of it's not left or right. I don't think it's just like
facts. Almost.
I mean, I think similar to what we're talking about. It's like like disaffected liberals. That's what it feels like to me. People on the left who aren't on board with really anything that's going on either side of the political aisle.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how to describe it, but
And how has working with him kind of helped you? Has it helped you at all in your writing and stand up and stuff like that?
I've only been working there for about a month now.
Okay.
But it does help because I'm in tune with the news and what's going on. I find their perspectives really interesting that they talk about on the show. And I guess they're in line with how I think about things politically, so I can relate to some of it.
Right. Want to pivot here. You're Armenian, right?
Yeah, I'm Armenian.
Let's briefly talk about what's going on there because I'm very. I actually
Dude,
don't know a lot.
I'm actually sadly ignorant as well. I know that Azerbaijan is like pushing people out of their homes
Right.
and killing people and all this stuff. But like I said, I'm so busy with work and stand up. I haven't kept on top of the news lately.
Right.
But I know that people are dying and being literally booted out of their homes right now. It's like basically like Armenian genocide part 2 almost. Like, you know what I mean? And like no one gives a shit.
Right.
I think
dude.
they're NATO allies too, if I'm wrong. I thought that Azerbaijan was a NATO ally, but I could be wrong, which is crazy because I don't know. We're doing all this stuff in Ukraine. Where is our humanity for what's going on to Armenians? Like no one really gives a
Yeah,
shit.
man. And like you were saying, a genocide, which still the first one, no one even acknowledges, really.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I don't. I think the U.S. finally acknowledged it, like semi recently.
Is that why they're just letting it go now? There's
maybe, dude, maybe. But yeah, it's only in the past. I want to say like 5 years or something that they actually
when
acknowledged.
Kim
it.
Kardashian said something about it, bro.
Probably, dude. No, the reason, as far as I know, the reason they wouldn't acknowledge it before is because they didn't want to piss off Turkey. They didn't want to lose our because we have military bases in Turkey, and they didn't want to piss them off, so they wouldn't admit that the genocide happened. But they finally admitted it recently. I think Israel still doesn't acknowledge it. I could be wrong, but
What the fuck, dude? I don't know why they wouldn't acknowledge something so horrific.
I don't know, man. I'm not super knowledgeable about this stuff. I should be. I feel like an idiot that I'm not.
You're fine.
But yeah, there's definitely bad shit happening there right now. People dying.
Like kids too, man.
Oh, yeah,
I saw a photo of this little girl fucking deciding what she has to take of her belongings, like her toys, clothes, and stuff like that. Yet out here, we're fucking worried about our gender. Like, what the fuck, man? Like this little 9-year-old girl is being displaced from her home, has to grab her toys, figure out which toy she wants, and yet if I say her to someone, I get fucking fucked up. That's where America is, dude.
Yeah, I don't see how that's sustainable. You were talking about the country being over.
Yeah.
How is that going to be sustainable in the future? You know, that's what people are hyped up on.
Right.
While literally the world is crumbling around us, and
so
we're
bad.
focused on the most insignificant stuff.
And it's literally what 1 to 2% of the population, if that, man.
Well, it's weird because someone suffering from gender dysphoria is probably 1% of the population, but the idea that gender is a spectrum, that's kind of like become common. That's like common. What do you call it? I don't know. That's just like part of culture now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's probably people that, I don't know. What do you think? I feel like there's people that want different pronouns or identify in different ways that don't necessarily have gender dysphoria.
Right.
They're just, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't
just
know.
think
It's
we're
complicated.
I just think we're just feeding too much to the kids, man. Leave the kids out of it, bro. Like, I don't know if you saw this, but I don't know what state it was, but a parent whose child was like 8 or 9 took her school book, went to the government of their local government, and all he said was, "I'm just going to read you a page from this book." Bro,
Can't wait
after
to
like
hear this one.
the paragraph, after the first paragraph, all those politicians were like, "Can you stop reading because it was so derogatory?" It
Wow.
was so explicit. It was just saying fucking sucking dick, all this stuff in
Oh,
the
wow.
children's book, bro. And it was so bad that there was like 6 or 7 up there. All of them were yelling at him to stop because it was so explicit.
Damn.
And then
dude.
he was just like, "Well, if we're teaching this to our kids, you guys can hear it."
Yeah, I mean that stuff does exist, and then you bring it up, and people want to act like it doesn't exist.
Dude.
You know what I mean?
That, or if it's completely fine. Like, no, it's not fine. If fucking grown ass people are saying it's too explicit, then what the fuck?
Well, that's where we've lost track of reality, and this is the stuff, you know, like just going to such extremes where like reality and common sense is out the window. So much of that has happened recently. It's like you can't say that that's not right for an 8-year-old, or else you're a transphobe. Like those things, you know what I mean?
You're
like
so
things
right.
have nothing to do with each other.
You're
like
so
no
right.
one, not next to no one cares what an adult does with their body or how they want to identify or who they have sex with.
100%.
But when it comes to kids, I don't know why it's a conversation. You know, like certain things are appropriate and others are not. We have age of consent for a reason. We have like, you know, it's
like
just
these
crazy.
kids can't buy cigarettes, but we can fucking hack off their dick.
Right. And I mean, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't know why. Yeah, and you can't criticize any of that, like giving hormones to kids, or you're called a transphobe.
Right.
Now, I don't think the government should dictate whether a kid can get hormone treatment, because I think.
Which would they kind of have, right? Like
there's
some states where they're just like, if you're not going to allow your kid to talk about this, we're going to take him away from you. Like, I don't know how true that is.
Well, there's states where like they won't. Like a kid can't, the government won't let a kid get hormone treatment.
Oh, okay, I see what you mean. Yeah, like Florida, I think was one of them.
I don't know if Florida is. I don't. Arkansas, I think.
Oh, okay, that would make more sense.
And I don't think that's good, because I don't think the government should be involved in people's medical decisions.
I see.
But that doesn't mean that I think it's good that a kid gets hormone treatment. I don't think it's good. I mean, you and your kid do whatever you want. You know, I'm not going to dictate to a family or a person what they do, and I don't want the government doing that either.
Right.
But I don't see how that could be healthy for a child, even if they were struggling. You know, I don't know, that stuff. Medical stuff like that freaks me out, anyways. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Taking any drugs. I've never even taken drugs really in my life. Like, never did any drugs really.
Yeah, I stay away from anything prescription, even over the counter stuff now, dude. Like, I have to go through, like, I'll go through 100 people, like not 100, but I'll go through the people that I trust that know about this stuff and talk to them before I even think about going to the store and getting shit. Like, I fucking suffer from gout. I don't know if you know what that is.
What is that?
So basically, it's just like a buildup of when you eat too much salty foods.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then it's just it's a very painful thing, but it goes like crystallizes in your joints, and it usually starts in your foot for your big toe. And bro, I was like, just during the pandemic, but I was so afraid of going to the doctors where I just sucked it up and was just like, I'm just gonna be in pain for 2 weeks. Fuck. Yeah. Dude.
How do they treat it?
They give you pills where it flushes out all of those like crystals out. It's usually it's in line with your kidneys, and then if you have like kidney stones and stuff like that.
Oh god, that scares me,
dude. I heard my dad had kidney stones when I was growing up, bro, and it was just look painful, man.
And it just happens from eating too much sodium.
Yeah, sodium. That's what it is. Yeah,
that's scary.
Yeah. It's a very bad fucking thing, but yeah, dude. Like it was just one of those things where I wasn't gonna fuck with a doctor, because I was like, well, they're gonna and again during the pandemic, I was just like, well, they're gonna ask me to take the fucking vaccine if I'm not vaccinated.
Oh, that's
so I was
true.
like, I'll just suffer. I don't give a fuck, which was really stupid now that I think about it.
Yeah, I don't know. The pandemic caused all kinds of problems. Dude, speaking of which, we were talking about minority-owned businesses and stuff. I found this out recently that like 41% of black-owned businesses went out of business during the pandemic, like all the shutdowns and everything.
What the fuck?
Yeah, 41% of black-owned businesses destroyed by that, which is crazy because I did
not hear this, dude.
Yeah, I just found it out the other day, but it's just wild that anyone was. I don't know. It's just crazy, like, because the same people that were for lockdowns and stuff are probably the same people doing Black Lives Matter.
Right.
And it's like, well, look at what is happening to these people's businesses.
Yeah.
Like, it's not good.
Not at all.
People don't. How did this turn into a political podcast?
I have no idea. Well, I don't know. It was one of those things where I actually haven't had a podcast like this where I was able to open up with someone who.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like on the same spectrum as I am, where it's just like everything's bullshit and we don't know what the fuck we're doing, man.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's how I feel.
And like I said in the podcast, dude, if there's one thing right about humans is that we're always wrong. So we could be wrong here. You know what I mean? Who knows? 20 years from now.
I don't think I'm right. I try to keep an open mind about stuff. I just know my perspective. I'm not saying my perspective is right.
But at least it sounds sane.
Well, I think being sane is just knowing that you're not right, like you said, knowing that it's your perspective and that you should try to be open to learning new things or whatever.
Yeah.
Now, that's something you hear the left say a lot. You listen and learn, you know? But what they really mean is think like me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I shit on left-wing stuff a lot. I don't know. I don't hear that crap from the right. You know what I mean? And I'm not on the right, but they're not like lecturing me and telling me to do this and do that.
That's true. But then again, we do live in LA. The media is ran by fucking
I just don't have encountered. If I lived in rural Texas, I'd probably be annoyed by being surrounded by right-wing nut jobs all day.
Right.
But I guess you're a product of your environment or whatever. I don't know.
I will say this: during it was like in 2021, I co-produced a Jack Daniel's spot, and we had to go to Tennessee, Lynchburg, Tennessee.
Oh, Lynchburg,
Tennessee.
Okay.
There's a Lynchburg in a lot of those states down there.
Oh my God!
I swear to God,
dude.
yeah. So we went to the Jack Daniel's distillery, and the producer was a lesbian Mexican, director was a lesbian black woman. Basically, it was a very diverse crew.
Yeah.
And all of us were tripping out, dude, because we were going to a place called Lynchburg. You know what I mean? But I will not lie. The nicest people I've ever met in my life.
Well, that's good.
Way nicer than if I were to just walk up the street with a fucking MAGA hat. Dude, I'm telling you, the people out there were nothing but respectful. And I always equate it to this. I was born in Hawaii, raised in Vegas. Two very hospitality industries, huge on hospitality.
Yeah.
LA, I'm not gonna lie, a lot of these people here are fucking assholes. They're fucking assholes, man, out here. It's insane how many fucking douchey, just fucking into themselves they are. It's like I grew up with the aloha spirit. I grew up in Vegas where you just want to have fun almost every day.
Yeah.
And coming here, it's been almost a drag because just like everyone's just eyes down, not fucking listening to anybody.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's not a good place, really. I feel bad saying that. I mean, there's things I like about Los Angeles, but yeah, it's not a great place in a lot of ways. I don't know. Do you think you'll live here forever?
No.
Yeah,
definitely not.
I mean, I don't know if I'll live here forever. I mean, the main reason I live here is because this is where you can do stand-up all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't really do that anywhere else other than New York.
Right.
There's really nowhere else
No.
that you can do it all the time,
No.
if you, like any time. And that's
where everyone can do it. Because I even hear places like Austin.
I wish Austin was like that,
Yeah,
but it's not.
It's like if you got to know the host, and if that even
yeah,
then,
and the
it's
open mics are terrible. I was there for like a month or so last
Okay.
year. The open mics were horrendous.
in terms of the content there, or not content, but the jokes they were writing. Or?
No, nothing against the comedians. Just the mics were just terrible. No one was laughing at anything. Didn't matter what someone was saying.
Really?
Everyone. I mean, I was only there for a month,
True.
so maybe I didn't get a good gist of it, but it just felt like no one really supported one another. No one was laughing at anything. The mics were in weird places that aren't fit for comedy, like at taco stands in the middle of a park, at a bar. You know, here in LA, you do comedy. There are bar shit. There is bar stuff, but, you know, there's comedy clubs here. Austin didn't really have that. Now more has opened since I left, like Rogan's Club, and,
Right.
Red Ben's Club.
Right.
I forgot what else.
But yeah, no, I hear that a lot about comics who go down there to Austin, and they say the same thing you do. It's just different.
Yeah, I wish that it had more, because I'd probably fit in better there. Or yeah, I honestly don't feel like I don't think I'm going to succeed in LA. I don't see how I would. I don't see, but I don't really focus on that anyways, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I kind of like gave up on any idea of success. And I know that sounds depressing. It's not though. What I don't mean to say I'm hopeless. I just mean I think hope is useless. Does that make sense? Like, I just focus on the getting better at the craft of doing stand up, and like the process of getting better at that is what matters. Thinking about what your goal is, or making it, or succeeding, or getting past at the improv or the comedy stuff, to me it feels totally useless. I don't know. I mean, if you just focus on the process of getting better, then that's really all that matters. Because there's like that Kobe Bryant quote where he's like, whether you win or lose, it doesn't matter, because you have to get up tomorrow and do it all over again. Either way, you have to keep working on this craft. And if you don't enjoy working on the craft, then what is the point of doing this in the first place? Because that's what it is. It's a grind. You're probably going to bomb 90% of the time. You know what I mean?
Even more, I think.
Even probably, more. Yeah. And you just that's what I like, is just trying to be better at it. Really just try to be a better person, which I screw up all the time in life. I've made a lot of mistakes. I'm trying to be better. I'm always trying to be a better person and try to be better at stand up. It's kind of the same mentality, right? If you're trying to improve anything in your life, right? You have to work at it. You have to be conscious of what you're doing wrong and call yourself out. Yeah. It's just like trying to be a better person. That's like trying to be better at stand-up.
That's very true, dude. Yeah. I mean, this podcast has really helped me see that, because before, dude, I had no ambition to do anything in film, edit, write, any of it. Really? Yeah, man. I just was so sick of it, dude.
You got sick of it?
Yeah. That and the landscape of how the ideologies they were going with. Like, I'm not a gay black dude, so I don't know that perspective. You know what I mean?
Is that what they're trying to produce?
Just turn on Disney Channel and you'll see, dude. It's wild, dude. And my thing is just like, I don't fit the bill. I just started figuring out how to write, like, from my perspective.
And this is nothing against gay black people. I love gay black people.
Of course. They're the best gays. They're the best gays. The best.
They're great. And, I'll watch that stuff, whatever. But what's weird is, like, most of the population is not a gay black dude and is not thinking about that, whatever that is. Yeah. So, like, who is watching that stuff?
But dude, that's what I'm saying. And it goes into fucking how Bob Iger now is trying to sell Disney. It's like, clearly, which the material you guys are putting out is not vibing with people. People are canceling their subscriptions. You guys are putting fucking $200 million.
Because, like, a movie shouldn't be about being a gay black dude or a straight white guy or anything. Right. It should be a story about being a human being. Right. But we've fallen into this identity crap that has taken over everything. And it's, in my opinion, ruined art. It's ruined movies. It's ruined comedy. It's ruining society, in my opinion, because these immutable characteristics don't define who we are as people. Right. But the mentality now is that they do define. Like, if you're a white guy, that defines who you are. If you're a black person or gay or whatever, that defines who you are. That's how racists think. You know what I mean?
Oh, shit, dude. Damn.
Like Ryan Long has that sketch. You know that sketch?
No, I don't.
You know Ryan Long?
I do.
Yeah, he has that woke versus racist sketch. It went viral.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I do. Yeah. Okay,
it's kind of like that. That's
that's a good one.
Yeah, it's like, it's the same line of thinking. It's like, oh, your skin color and sexuality, that determines who you are as a person. That's how, like, bigots think, I feel like. Yeah. And like, woke people think the same way, but in a different way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, 100%.
Like, you're ignoring people's individuality. It's so inhumane. Like, you're stripping people of their humanity. Like, that's where you get quotes like, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Yeah. That's how you get that, because you're not looking at people as human beings anymore. They're just members of this group that you've made assumptions about. Right. Like, it's racist.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna take my shit back. Joe Biden, I hope he does go run, because I guarantee he's gonna fuck up and say the N-word. He's gonna do it, dude.
Oh my god, dude.
He's gonna fucking do it. He's just gonna forget where he is, who he's in front of, and he's just gonna drop it.
I wouldn't be surprised at this point. He could say anything and it wouldn't surprise me at this point.
And no one will care because it's Joe Biden. They'll be like, yeah, he's fine. He's old.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah.
And they'll paint him as the lesser of two evils and he'll win again.
Yeah.
Because Trump bad.
Yeah.
And I don't want Trump to be president. But we got bigger problems than Trump, I think.
Yeah.
Trump's
like
a problem
Joe
too,
Biden.
dude. Trump. Honestly, Trump being president doesn't sit well with me either.
Why is that?
I don't think he's unhinged. I think he only cares about himself. I think he's willing. I mean, I don't think he incited violence on January 6th, but he certainly ramped up everybody for months about election stuff. You know, he got everybody all hopped up on that shit. He's not responsible. He doesn't care about like people's well-being. He cares about himself and his own power and popularity, and he'll put that before everything. That's scary to me. So that's why Trump scares me. At the same time, you know, Biden scares me for a million other reasons. Yeah, it's a Sophie's choice or whatever they call it. It's a lose-lose. Yeah. You voting for Trump? You going Trump?
No, I'm not. I'm not gonna lie. I did.
If
2020.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
all right.
did.
Look at this guy.
Yeah,
you got a Trump supporter here. This is good.
Well, because like, dude, I worked in healthcare my whole life. I grew up in healthcare from the time I was 7. My mom opened up a business for the people in hospice. Bro, I saw his dementia coming from a fucking mile away.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just like, I'm not going to fucking vote for someone who has dementia where we're already fucking. And I hate it when people are like, oh, I love Biden because, you know, he hasn't done anything. Bro, that's not the kind of president you want if we had just had a president like Trump. You want someone who's going to do something.
Like he's done things. I mean, I don't know. He's done a million. Yeah, I don't know. Trump just worries me because I don't think he cares about anyone but himself.
I'm definitely not voting this turnaround because it's just like, this is just ridiculous.
I don't. If someone votes for Trump, more power to him. I don't give a shit. Same for Biden. I don't care who someone votes for. I will not vote for either of those people. I didn't last time.
If anything, I'll vote for the Libertarian.
Yeah, I don't know who's right. Cornel West is running, but he's kind of, I don't know. He's kind of on the, I don't know. I don't love some of the stuff he's been pushing. I don't know. I don't know how you can win. RFK is running, I guess.
But they won't even let him fucking do his shit, man, dude.
Yeah,
I don't even think they'll, like, no one knows about RFK. No one, dude. Like,
really?
In the open mic scene, no one knows anything about him.
I get the vibe.
A Kennedy, that's it.
I get the vibe they know about him, but the way they know about him is that he's a anti-vax conspiracy theorist nut job. Like that's how they see it. They don't look at him as a viable, real person.
What do you think about him?
I don't know a lot about him, honestly.
Okay.
I need to get more in tune. I've just been busy lately. I actually have been making it a point to get, because I was really in tune with what was going on, but the past month I've just been so busy because I was moving, I'm doing stand up, I started a new job, and RFK, I like some of the things I've heard him say, and then there's other things that maybe I don't know. Yeah. I don't know.
In my opinion, I just think he wants what everyone wants. It's just the truth. I just think he just wants the truth, and he just wants everything to just be fucking chill, dude. Like, he doesn't want, like, he wants the best. I think he wants the best for the people. I really do. I really do.
I don't think Biden or Trump wants that.
No, I agree.
Trump wants what's best for Trump.
Yep.
And Biden wants what's best for the establishment.
Hunter.
No, Biden's just a puppet for the man, basically. You know,
for Obama.
Obama. Yeah, there you go.
That's a conspiracy theory we will not get into. But dude, I cap it usually around here, brother.
Okay.
I really do appreciate you coming on here and speaking fucking all this crazy shit with me. Are you ready to get canceled, dude?
What are you putting online? It's going to be like you
got until Friday. You got until Friday.
I voted for Trump. I didn't even vote for Trump.
Yeah, no. But I did.
Well,
I did.
Got a racist here, guys. Dude.
Well, let the people know where they can find you on social medias, brother.
Oh, Chris G. Keene, at Chris G. Keene on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and I don't know what else. Twitter, I don't know.
X.
I try to not be on social media, but sometimes I am.
New age. It's a digital age. You got to be.
Yeah.
Well, brother, again, I really appreciate you coming on, dude.
You.
And thank you, everyone, for watching and listening, dude. Have a good one. Don't cancel us, please. Bye.